Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Marvel Legends Walmart exclusive Ultimate Spider-Man and Vulture 2-pack review. Let's do it.
Ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey I'm fucking with. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about you.
On the right side of the box, there is some artwork. There's a picture of Ultimate Vulture, and on the left side you have a picture of Ultimate Spider-Man. On the front of the package you can see the Ultimate Spider-Man logo. You can see it says Marvel's Vulture and Spider-Man underneath each character through the window of the clamshell. It says Walmart exclusive here. Obviously you can only find this 2-pack at Walmart. Taking a look at Ultimate Spider-Man out of the package, and if you were able to pick up the Ultimate Spider-Man from the Marvel Legends Space Venom Build-A-Figure wave, then you are pretty much getting the same figure here with some minor paint differences. Same exact buck, so the articulation is going to be the same, and I will go over the articulation and I will do some comparisons here, but you don't actually get all of the same interchangeable hands. You see he has one whipping hand on the right hand and he has a fisted hand on the left hand, and that's how he comes out of the package. And aside from that, the only other interchangeable parts or accessories you get for Spider-Man is a set of open hands. So you do not get another whipping hand for the left hand or another fisted hand for the right hand like you received with the Space Venom Wave version, and you do not get an unmasked Peter Parker head, unfortunately. So if you don't know, the Ultimate Universe was sort of like a reimagining of the 616 Marvel Universe. This was something that Marvel did in 2000 to kind of shake things up a bit. They wanted to bring on new readers and younger readers, and they basically took the characters that we know and love and shook them up a bit. They changed up things. They presented a lot of the same characters and same villains and stuff, but again, they just kind of changed it up in a way that was new and fresh, and it was a pretty big hit. It translated pretty well with a lot of readers. So there was Ultimate Spider-Man, there was Ultimate X-Men, there was Ultimate Fantastic Four, and then it was the Ultimates, which was that universe's version of the Avengers. The first like 2 volumes of Ultimates was amazing. I would definitely recommend that. That's something that I've talked about in the past on this channel. And Spider-Man was done very, very well. This was when Brian Michael Bendis was writing at his peak at perfection almost. So Ultimate Spider-Man was very, very good too. As a matter of fact, I'm rereading that right now with my daughter, or she's reading it to me as part of her extracurricular reading. But I'm off on a tangent. So yeah, that's where this particular version of Spider-Man comes from. But actually, this version of Spider-Man is actually based on the cartoon, which came out a couple of years ago, which is loosely based on the comic book character. So here we go. Just to be clear, the Spider-Man on the right is supposed to be based on the actual comic book character, the Ultimate Spider-Man from the comic books, and the one that came out of this 2-pack on the left is supposed to be based on the cartoon that I believe premieres on Disney XD. So there's a closer look at the two. Like I said, the blue on the 2-pack version on the left is a little more vibrant. It's a little more blue. Whereas this one on the right that came in the Space Venom wave, the blue is a little more dull. I'm not even sure what you would categorize that, or what hue of blue you would call that. But you can see the line work is just slightly different as well. You can see on the Space Venom version that the web pattern comes down the arm, down the bicep, onto the forearm, whereas the 2-pack version, the weapon stops at the shoulder and starts up again at the forearm. So that's different. And taking a look at the spider symbol on the back, you can see the Ultimate Spider-Man from the cartoon on the left. The legs on the spider are more angular, whereas the ones on the Space Venom version, the legs on the spider emblem look a little more blocky. And yeah, so the line works a little different. I feel like the eyes might be a little more pronounced on the 2-pack version on the left. I think the paint and everything looks a little better on the 2-pack version as far as the eyes go. I think the white of the eyes is a little more vibrant on the 2-pack version as well. So again, on the right we got the comic version, and on the left we have the cartoon version. And yes, the pegs between the two figures are the same, so you are able to swap out the additional interchangeable hands from the Space Venom Wave version and the unmasked head from that version onto this new 2-pack version. I have both fisted hands from the Space Venom version and the unmasked head here, so if you were able to grab the Space Venom version, then you do have a bit more playability with this guy. Unfortunately, if you never saw that wave at retail, which a lot of people have not, then you're stuck with just the one whipping hand and the one fist on this new guy without the interchangeable unmasked head. So that's kind of whack. I really wish that they would actually add more things in when they're giving us box sets. I mean, that's when you really should be able to pack in more accessories and give the customer a bit of a break. You should get something extra when you get a box set, in my personal opinion. And just real quick, going over articulation, like I said, it is the same as the Space Venom version. Head is on a ball joint. It'll look up just about that far. It'll look down pretty far. It'll go left and right and pivot. You don't really have any problem rotating the head or popping it off that peg. Shoulders are on a ball joint. They're both going to go up just about that far. They can do a full 360. You get an upper bicep swivel. You get a double jointed elbow. You get a swivel on the wrist as well as a hinge. Ab crunch is going to come down that far forward and go that far back. You get a waist swivel, T-joint at the hips. Legs are going to come up just about that far. They're going to go back that far. A split looks like that. Upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee. You get rotation on the at the upper boot. This one is moving kind of funny. That's why I moved that one. I need to put a little hot water on this side, but you do get a hinge and a nice deep pivot on the foot. So one thing that I really don't like about this buck is the limited range of motion when you're trying to move the hinge on the foot upward. Because the hinge doesn't go up farther, it's very hard to get him in that kind of Spider-Man-esque classic crouching pose. It does not really work. I really wish they would have made that point of articulation a little deeper here on this guy, but they did not. So it'll go back and hinge back pretty far, but because it doesn't hinge forward more, it's not the greatest. Now we're taking a look at Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture, out of the package. I actually read his bio from the back of the package real quick. There was no bio for Spider-Man, but his bio reads, Adrian Toomes uses a specialized flying suit to soar through the skies as the Vulture. But when the winged menace threatens justice, it's up to Spider-Man to swing in and stop him in his flight. So not too many accessories with this guy either. He comes with a helmet, which I'll get into in a moment, and he comes with his set of wings, which I'll put on first because I want to talk about that. So the wings actually snap onto this little apparatus on the back here. This pulls out, and then you can plug the wings in and put that back in. So let's do that real quick. There you go. Those tab in there nicely, and they actually kind of stay in place without you even actually putting this porting this back in. But of course I will, just so everything is secure. And you know what? I actually had them reversed, so it should look like this, or else this part is not going to port back in. So this design on the wing should be facing in that direction, and then everything will port in properly. And just to give you a good idea of the wingspan, it's just about maybe just under 14 inches long. Unfortunately, there is no articulation. They do not move back and forth. They do not move up and down. They're pretty much fixed in this position. So whatever you want to do as far as display art or A.C.B.A, this is going to be it. You're not going to really get too much mobility or any mobility out of the wings. Now, when you get him like this, and he's got the wings, and he's just got the unmasked face, this is supposed to represent the Adrian Toomes of the Ultimate Universe from the comic books. This is pretty similar to how his costume looked in the comic books, and that's what you get here when you have him unmasked. Now, if you pop off the unmasked head and you put on the helmeted head, then you're going with the look from the cartoon. Only thing is, in the cartoon, his costume design is quite different. There are some differences as far as how the feet go and even how the wings and everything look. So it's not as accurate. The most accurate look you're going to get is having him unmasked, and that is pretty accurate to the comic books. This is similar to what they did in the past with some of the other Spider-Man villains like Electro, where they give you that classic head that does not really go with the modern body. So the bald head from Electro on that body is really the accurate look, whereas if you put on that old school head on the modern body, it doesn't really work. It's not really the same. A lot of people been confused about that. So yes, Hasbro is kind of all over the place. I know a lot of people are kind of fiending for a classic Sinister Six. I know a lot of people would probably have preferred a newer version of the classic Vulture, but this is what we got. So say that this buck is mostly the Pizza Spider-Man mold, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like the legs and the pelvic area here from Pizza Spider-Man, the arms. These hands look like they might actually be the hands from Superior Venom, maybe just painted green, and then there's some extra sculpting and everything here on the costume with this whole wing apparatus. And so definitely reminiscent of the classic look for Vulture, but just a kind of a more modern take on it, I suppose. But yeah, in terms of articulation, the head is on a ball joint. You get a very nice range of motion as far as going down, and it'll look up pretty far, which is good for a character that flies. I don't really like how the neck looks here. You know, there's a lot of exposed parts, but it does give you a good range of motion. It can pivot, move left and right. There's no problem there. So shoulders on the ball joint. Shoulder will come up just about that far. Can do a full 360. You get an upper bicep swivel. You do get a double jointed elbow, a wrist swivel, and a hinge. I'm not really a fan of this ab articulation. It doesn't really come forward at all. It'll go back a little bit, and this portion of this of his wing apparatus is kind of soft and pliable here, so it doesn't hinder the articulation as far as going back, but you're not going to get really anything going forward. You do get a waist swivel, T-joint at the pelvis. Legs will come up really far. You get upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee. There is no rotation at the upper boot. You get a nice deep hinge and pivot on the foot. So it's a decent range of motion. Like I said, I do believe this is mostly the Pizza Spidey buck, but I really wish the ab crunch was a little deeper. Couple quick size comparisons. So it does look like the Pizza Spidey buck for the most part, but this gapage on the pelvic area of Vulture is really an eyesore. You can see all the way through to the back there, whereas on Pizza Spidey it doesn't look that crazy. So I don't know, maybe it's Superior Spider-Man buck. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments if you know, but they are pretty much just about the same height. And there he is next to Ultimate Spider-Man. And there he is next to the classic Toy Biz version of Vulture, which still holds up as a pretty nice looking figure. I know it has not really withstood the test of time as far as the quality goes. I know a lot of people that still have this figure don't have it in one piece. A lot of people have broken this figure. I've done a pretty good job of keeping them intact, but I do know that a lot of people wanted an updated version of this classic Vulture. I mean, it's cool to get the ultimate version. I'm not mad with this this new release here, but I don't know if Hasbro can even top this Toy Biz version. It's very nice. So not a bad 2-pack at all. Definitely one I would recommend, especially considering that the Space Venom Build-A-Figure wave was very scarce at retail, like I mentioned. So a lot of people missed out on an opportunity to get an Ultimate Peter Parker, Ultimate Spider-Man on this teen buck. Unfortunately, they didn't include all of the interchangeable hands or the extra unmasked head. So again, that still creates somewhat of a problem if you never track down the Space Venom wave at retail. But like I always say, I'm always a fan of when we get new characters that haven't been produced in figure form. And technically, we haven't got the ultimate version of Vulture, although we have gotten a Vulture before from Toy Biz. We never got this particular character. So they've been giving us quite a few different ultimate villains for Spider-Man here. We got Vulture, we got the Ultimate Green Goblin, we got Ultimate Beetle. I don't know. Let me know in the comments who else we got. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head. But this 2-pack is going to run you about $45 at retail. Now, we are running a little donation drive right now. This is something that I do fairly often when I'm able to get something a little early. we have a donation drive for this 2-pack going right now, so you could actually win this 2-pack for as few as $5 US. There's going to be a link in the description on the underbar here that will take you directly to the A.C.B.A website. So if you want to enter this little donation drive, it'll be running through this coming Tuesday. It went up on Instagram on this past Tuesday, so you got a couple of days left to get in. You can enter as many as 4 times, so that would be $20. But if you just throw down the minimum of $5, then you're in it to win it. And this is a good opportunity if you don't have any Walmarts in your area to try to grab this 2-pack. So that'll be in the description below. I got quite a few reviews coming up over this week. Main course hopefully should be dropping tomorrow, Saturday, if you're viewing this on the day that this airs. Then the very next day is Saturday. Sunday it should be podcasting live from my channel, and Monday I should be getting into the SH Figure Arts Street Fighter figures. So look forward to all of that. Thanks for watching. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, peace.